realizing your own mortality is sobering. Just remembering that you and I will not be here forever changes your perspective to another level. It just hits you like a brick, or a brick of walls, a wall of brick, just like a brick wall. Because I definitely do this. I definitely take my life for granted on a daily basis, that this sounds, saying this out loud, I assume every single morning that I'm going to wake up and then go to bed, and that I have about 40, 50, 60, 70 more years left. Maybe 80 if I'm lucky. And I just assume that. I assume that tomorrow morning I'm going to wake up in my same bed, and that I'm going to have a day. All my plans are going to get done. I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. I'm going to see this person. I'm going to do this thing, and I'm going to go do whatever. And I have that expectation, and I take that life for granted. I really do. And I was hanging out with like my best friend from home, and we were talking, and her and I do not go to the same college. We didn't do like anything of similarity, and she worked at this company for a bit, and she worked there last year, and she told me, she was like, one of the most sobering things of life was when my boss told me, once you get out of college and you start working here or wherever, make a will. And I was like listening, and I was like, huh? And she was like, yeah, he said that. Because she works in this like type of factory, and there's like chemicals there. And she was saying how anything could go wrong. Like, not to be scared of it, not to be worried, not to be filled with anxiety, but rather to be aware, to be conscious, to be aware of your surroundings, which is the most important thing. And to be prepared, not to be scared, but to be prepared. And I was like, dang, oh my goodness, like that is crazy, because life can just happen like that. And we take it for granted. And it's the most mind-boggling thing to imagine somebody who is here one day, 24 hours ago, 12 hours ago, an hour ago, and then gone the next. Like, thank God, like nobody, like it's not like, not personal grief. I have experienced grief and external grief for other people, but like recently I have not experienced that, which I'm so thankful for. But just having close friends, close like family friends, experience grief from their own nuclear family or atomic family, or like inside their own family, like the people that they live with, them experiencing grief and loss of a loved one boggles my mind. Because it's like, oh my gosh, like I know that person, like I literally just talked to them last week, last month, last year, and now they're gone. I am not personally impacted by that, but that doesn't mean that I can, like, that you're not still shocked and that it's not sobering. Because one of my neighbors passed away a year ago, and it's like I just saw them, like it was like, whoa. And I got the news, like I just got home from college, I got back from my internship, and I saw him, like my neighbor, like literally not that long ago, like last week, like that week before. And we got news that he passed away. And I was like, what? And because you can still see like the vehicle, and it's just so sobering. And it just makes you feel not like survivor's guilt, but it makes you see the world from a different perspective. Because I think, at least from like a younger person's perspective, like I don't have a lot of experience with death, and I'm very blessed and very fortunate to say that. Coming from a different perspective, that might not be the same. And it can be really heavy for someone else. And just watching their experience from afar makes me appreciate every single person that I still have in my life. That it just reminds me to appreciate my family so much more. The friends that I have, the connections, the people who I truly love and appreciate. Because they don't have that anymore from that person. And it's like, oh my gosh, like what? And it just makes me think about, you don't truly appreciate something or someone until they're gone. Whether that's they move away, whether that's just you no longer can see them very often, whether it's whatever circumstance, it's like, oh my gosh, like, I guess I just don't want someone to experience that feeling of grief without knowing that, like regretting that they didn't appreciate someone while they were still there. I think that's what I'm kind of trying to say. Because like another friend of mine lost her mom, and not that long ago. And as time was passing for me, I was just trying to get through my internship. I was like, can this internship go by any quicker? And while she's over here, while she's experiencing life on an entirely different timeline of, oh my gosh, my mom just passed away. Like, how has time gone by so fast when I'm trying over here to rush it as fast as I could? And it's crazy because time still continues with or without a person. And that's so hard to fathom. I think it's really hard to fathom because I have a hard time fathoming that your world can stop, but everybody else's world continues. And it's like, why? Like, it's just crazy because you go through the 5 stages of grief during that time, and it is the most treacherous time of your life. And sometimes when you're going through that, it feels like it's never going to end, and that you're just trying to swim and continue and try to just get through it. And it's just mind-boggling because I remember, like, my senior year, there were 2 people who passed away that were also in my grade, not from my school, but just from like another school that like we were like close with. And it was during spring break. And then when we got back, my speech teacher was my first hour teacher. And he was like, I'm not gonna ask you guys how your spring break was. I'm not gonna do that because we all know what happened. And it's crazy to think that like anything can happen and you aren't invincible. I definitely think, like, I'm saying this because I just think that like I can do anything that I put my mind to. But definitely I think as like 20-year-olds and like people that are younger, like they don't think that's gonna happen to them. And most oftentimes it doesn't, but stuff like that happens. And just trying to live your life with a little bit more appreciation, I think, is what I'm going to take away from today. That I am so blessed and so fortunate to have everything that I have. And that things can be taken away just as quickly as they're given. And being able to appreciate that is hard. I think it's hard for me to fully appreciate that because of just the lack of life experience that I have. Because I know like my family, like they've experienced death, they've experienced tragedy, but like as being like my age, I haven't. And so they have that life experience that they really appreciate life and have an understanding because they've experienced death. Whereas like when I was younger, most of that stuff happened. And so like I don't have great recollection of that. And So I think just trying to be more thoughtful and more aware of everything that has come about and that could come about, and just some of the close mishaps that could have happened, of just life in general and life occurring and just people choosing their choices and so forth, has really been sobering, because no one is perfectly safe from that. Not like that, but like, it's not an unavoidable thing in life that we're all are going to experience that one day or another. And I think being able to understand that, and understand that our mortality is here, but then to be in the moment and really appreciate life and appreciate the people that you love in your life, because one day they're not going to be here. One day they're not going to be there. And I think being able to appreciate their presence while they're still here is the best gift that you can have, and the best thing that you can do. Because not that you always have to be afraid, not that you always have to be like, oh my gosh, what if this, and not to have anxiety, but it's to have gratitude. To have gratitude that you have another day, to have gratitude that you have those people in your life still. And even if that person has passed away, to have gratitude that you've had them in your life for that long. And I cannot speak from the stage in your life. Maybe you're in the midst of grieving, of anger, of like all those steps, and I send you my heart. I really do. I think it's so hard. And I cannot say that, oh, just be happy that you had them in their life. That is not what I'm saying. That is far from what I'm trying to express. I'm trying to express that one day, you will find a time in your life, once you've healed and once you understand and process everything, that you can see the joy that they brought in your life, and that you can look back at those memories and see fondness and great times, and to know that they are with you, and to see that you and them have a very special bond, and that no matter what, no matter how much time has passed, it's not going to change. And it's hard. It's really hard to let them go and to see that. And sometimes you just have to let go of whatever you need to, or hold on to something, or just be you during this hard time. Whatever it may be. Just sometimes even hold on to yourself, because maybe that's all you have. And you know, one day you'll meet again, if you believe in that. Or one day they'll watch over you again. Or I don't know what you believe in. But one day, everything will work out the way it's meant to be. And that you will see that, yes, life is absolutely filled with unpredictable things. And that life is so beyond crazy and indescribable. But it's okay. And that you and I can appreciate every single day that we had with them, that we do have with them, and know that it's okay. And that we can always just find something that we can be grateful about, and that we can try to have a better day, and to know that we can still do something with our day. Food for thought.